Hello friends, this is Raj Sastry from Raj Option Trading. Today is September 29, 2021. I want to talk about heavily short stocks and how to trade them and benefit from it. So with that, I got here few stocks here. The reason I want to cover this, there is a lot of short covering and the list has shifted a little bit. I thought it's good to run through the list and make sure you're on top of it. So with that, we got top of the list IPW, a 48% short, and PBTS, and very high short ratio 44%, and so on and so forth. What we'll do is we'll look at these stocks in a little more detail and see how to trade this and take it from there. So with that, first let's look at the futures here, see what futures market is suggesting, what's in store for today, and then we'll jump into these short stocks and see how to buy them and profit from it. So with that, let me switch over to Thinkorswim here from TD Ameritrade. So as we scan through here, we got S&P 500 futures. It's pointing to a higher opening today after the big drop yesterday, the huge candle you can see here. Today futures are pointing to a higher opening. Typically there will be a bounce after this huge drop. So we'll see how it goes. We will be selective and buy some quality stocks into this downturn. And then we got here Nasdaq. These are tech heavy stocks, tech and biotech. Same story. There is a small bounce here after the huge drop. We can expect a little bit higher opening today, but as you see here, the trend is kind of lower low here. That's why we'll be careful. We'll buy some quality stocks and have some money in the sidelines. And then we got here Dow Jones Industrial Average, and same story after the huge drop here. It's showing some progress here. We'll see and buy some good quality stocks. And Russell 2000 finally, and as you scan through here, it's also showing a bounce here, and we'll see how to trade these stocks. In a nutshell, I think folks are worrying a little bit that interest rates might, go higher, which will cause issue with the housing market, and it will also cause issue for the big companies which borrow a lot of money. That's why everybody is selling these stocks and keeping some money in the sideline. There is a lot of news about inflation that's also causing some fear that Fed may raise the rates here. So with that, if you look at a different chart here with bonds here, as you can see here, bond is raising a little bit slowly, but it got sold off here. So I think as interest rates increase, the bond can also it'll have some adverse effect. So we have to watch out these bonds carefully. So watch the yields and see what will happen, because as bonds fall here, falling of the bonds is good for stock market, but as bond raises, stock market will go negative or a little bit negative territory. And let's look at crude oil here. Crude oil, as you can see here, it's doing great. That's why these energy names are doing well. So I think at this point, let's not chase these energy stocks. Let them come down a little bit. And then we got here gold. Gold is, I think it's a good time to buy quality gold stocks like Barrick Gold. And there are a lot of gold stocks, even GDX, also a good one, and GLD. And then we got here dollar here. Dollar is a little bit weaker. That's helping some of these commodities and go from there. So with that, let's hop back into heavily shorted stocks and see how we can make money with them. So from a news perspective, we got iPower. It reports fourth quarter and fiscal results. Looks like there's a strong demand for in-house branded products. That's driving this company's revenue up. I think with a high short ratio, let's see if this company is worth buying here and go from there. And then you got your Workhorse. Looks like Workhorse is making a lot of news these days. The shares have sunk, and it also halted the electric van deliveries. Let's see if it's worth buying. Due to this study we have from Motley Fool, they are suggesting it might be okay to buy some Motley Fool here. They might eventually come out of their slump here. They also have new CEO at the top who is a very seasoned guy. So there is some positive news at the end of the tunnel. It may be okay to slowly buy Workhorse and position our portfolio. High short ratio here. And then you got Stitch Fix here. Looks like strong earning report. And they also have some supply chain trouble. Everybody is having supply chain trouble these days. That's why inflation is going higher, and also there is a higher labor cost. So with that, Stitch Fix is kind of pointing to a little bit down guidance here. They are thinking cost will take a bite out of earnings, and also predicting a growth slowdown as it invests money in the major initiatives. So that means that a Stitch Fix will be in the trading range for a while. It could be slowly buy Stitch Fix and accumulate. And then you got Nikola here. Nikola is, it's slowly it's inking a deal with this company to sell additional shares. That's a good news. So that way, the supply of stocks will be less as it sells more and more stocks here. So it may be okay to look at Nikola and see if it's worth buying. And then you got Smile Direct, SDC, another heavily shorted stock here. Looks like they got a positive news here. Alabama board that tells you, hey, dental examiners no longer impede company's platform here. That's a good news for Smile Direct. That should take the stock a little bit higher. And then we got here artificial intelligence company here, Lemonade. Everybody loves Lemonade here. I think there is a positive news from Motley Fool that this company might do very well. Stock is oversold. I'm buying Lemonade slowly into this weakness. We'll look into these companies and see if they're worth buying and go from there. And here are the list of heavily shorted stocks. I have done a little bit rearranging so that way you can easily consume the data. What I've done is I've highlighted few things here. First, I've indicated is there a rule of 40. Anytime you see a green highlight here or a background, that tells you these stocks have rule of 40, which means quarterly sales plus gross margin greater than 40%. Fundamentally good companies are highlighted in green in the ticker column. So blink as you scan through, nice quarter over quarter sales, nice gross margin, handily beats the rule of 40, and also RSI is lower. That's why it's highlighted here. And as you scan through a few more companies here, we got Smile Direct, same story, and we got ATER, same story. On the other hand, Stitch Fix, even though there is a strong sales growth and gross margin, it's not highlighted because right now RSI is a little higher, it's 57. So if the RSI comes below 50, then this will be highlighted. So I want to make sure you look at strong companies which we can buy now. That's why in addition to sales quarter over quarter sales growth and gross margin, I also made sure RSI is lower, so it's in a buying territory. In a nutshell, look at the companies which are highlighted in green here. Those are for the fundamental traders who love fundamentals. And then we got here, we got one more highlight here. Whenever you see a highlight, blue highlight in company name, that tells you there is a high insider or a high institution buy. So I think it's good to look at some of these companies and go from there. Actually, HLR says there is a high short ratio and low RSI. So these are the good candidates for a short squeeze. iPower as an example, high short ratio and low RSI, which is below 50. That's why it's highlighted. So if you're a technically inclined trader, want to play the short squeeze game, go with the this highlight here, which is a blue highlight that tells you, hey, what, there is short squeeze situation, high short ratio, low RSI. You can slowly bite into this stock here. And then we got here, heavy institutions and insider buying. If you look at the price here, some of these are highlighted here. This tells you these stocks have got high institution, high insider buying. So you could look at these stocks and buy them along with the insiders and institutions. So those are few highlights here. I also have the legend here at the top, so you can go through those. So with that, let's jump in here and look at few stocks. As you look through here, IPW on the top, very high short ratio, 48%. And as you scan through here, there is no float, tells you there is no supply here. It's very difficult for these shorts to cover here. That suggests stock might go up as you go forward. Coupled with a low RSI, that makes it a good candidate. Only thing is debt to equity is a little high here, which is manageable. So with that, I would recommend looking into IPW and play the short squeeze situation here with the high short ratio and low RSI. And then I look at PBTS, again a good play here. We got high short ratio, low RSI, as well as institutions buying. That's again double whammy here, which is a better story here. I would look into this one also, as it's got a low RSI and high short ratio. I think it's slowly okay to buy this stock here, PBTS, and go from there. Now let's look at a few more and go from there. So we also have fundamentally good companies here, like we have Stitch Fix that we talked about. Only reason it's not highlighted is stock RSI is a little higher, but I think it's slowly, maybe it's okay to buy after the earnings. After the news, the stock might slow down a little bit. It may be okay to buy as it comes down. Then we got Blink here. Blink is a great stock. As you can look through, we have rule of 40 indicated by green highlight here. We got a high short ratio, as well as we have institutions buying. That makes it a great candidate to buy Blink slowly and accumulate. As you scan through here, high short ratio and low RSI, and nice strong company with the rule of 40, as well as institutions buying. That makes it an ideal candidate. The moment you see highlights in all the first three columns here, those are typically stronger candidates. You can buy into those and take advantage of this short squeeze. Then we got Smile Direct here. Smile Direct, as you scan through here, RSI is low, high IV percentile, high short ratio here. You could buy into Smile Direct into this situation here and take advantage. As you scan through here, we have a situation where there's a rule of 40, as well as insiders and institutions buying slowly, but I don't see insider institutions buying here, but there is a rule of 40 here. I would look into this one also. Then we got a Bitcoin company here, BTCM. As you can see here, we got a rule of 40 with the strong sales growth here, and we also have nice short ratio here, low RSI, as well as we got institutions buying here. So I would look into BTCM also here. So with that, as you scan through the way to read this chart, look at what insiders and institutions doing. As an example, this stock here, PROG, with insiders buying, institutions buying, I would look at buying slowly into this stock. It's a low dollar stock here. I've seen this stock bouncing all the way from 90 cents to $1. I think that makes a nice, trading opportunity if you want to trade in and out. Then as you scan through here, look at other companies here. PBTS, same story, nice institution buying. Blink, any, all this makes a good candidate here. Coupled with the low RSI, you could bite into these stocks here. And then, if you are a options trader, look at IV percentile here. Anytime you see a high IV percentile and a little bit high stock price, you could sell some put options underneath, provided RSI is lower. If RSI is higher, don't buy the call options at the time. Wait for RSI to cool off, then you can buy call option. If you buy call option when RSI is high, you are paying more premium. That may not be worth it. Then look at short ratio here, very high short ratio, and look at the float. Floats with the less than 100 million float are always good. That way you have limited supply of stock, and it's hard for these shorts to cover their position. That's why those are highlighted in green here. And when we have a little bit higher short ratio, above 100 million, they are highlighted in red because there is shares available, and shorts will be able to cover more easily than when there is a less supply. And then look at the performance here. We got 1 day all the way to 5 year. If the stock has dropped a lot and you see some progress in 1 day and 5 day, those are your turnaround candidates. For example, iPower, you can slowly bite into this. There is some progress here in 5 day, 10 day. Stock is down big longer term in 52 weeks. And same story, you could also buy into stocks like Stitch Fix here. But Stitch Fix is a little high for me, 5 day 13%. I would not go into this yet. Let this cool off a little bit. And also, as you look through Stitch Fix here, RSI is 57, tells you wait, don't buy right now. And as you scan through down here all the way, keep going, keep going. Yeah, I think these have gone up a little bit. As a contrarian, you could look at stocks which have fallen down, low RSI as indicated here, and also positive, when it comes to rule of 40, and high short ratio, low RSI, or insider institution buying. Look at the candidates where I've highlighted these first three columns. Those are the ones depending on your trading style. If you are a fundamental trader, look for a green in the first column here in the ticker like Blink, SDC, BTCM. If you want to play the short squeeze game, then look at the ones where we have blue highlight here. These companies you can play short squeeze game. And if you are also a short squeeze person, you want to invest with insiders or institutions, look at the green highlights in the third column here, or a price column. You could play along there. But if you see more highlights in all these three columns, for example, we got BTCM highlights in all the three places. Those could be a little more stronger candidates, and you could buy along. So with that, let's jump in here and look at a few more. So here we got few more stocks here, starting with App Harvest here, a very high short ratio, 25%, and a little bit lower float here. And pay attention to what insiders and institutions are doing. Clovis, as you can see here, Clovis has got nice institution buying here. So I think RSI is a little high, tells you wait, don't buy right now, let it cool off. If you already have the stock, you could play along and take advantage of these insiders buying here. And then you got Archon. This has been a duds for a long time. Institutions are buying heavily. I would buy along with the institutions and take it from there. And looks like Archon also, Archon, I think institutions are buying, and also there is a low RSI. You could buy along with the institutions here. And as you scan through here, we got a few more like Beyond Meat here, at a good one. Stock is sold off late. Nice fundamentals, satisfies rule of 40 as you can see here. High short ratio, low RSI. Also, as you can scan through here, institutions are buying slowly. That's a good sign also. And I also like stocks like Weibo here, SANS, BBBY, and so on and so forth. Pay attention to what institutions and insiders are doing. I think go along with that. GEO, I think it's intriguing right now because insiders are buying. That shows the conviction, and also institutions are buying. That could be a great story here, coupled with the low RSI, high short ratio. That could be a good one to buy slowly, a low dollar stock here. And Ride Blockchain, as you look through here, we got fundamentals with rule of 40, and we got here high short ratio, low RSI, as well as institutions buying. That makes it a triple whammy here. I would look into Ride Blockchain at these levels and buy along with these insiders, institutions. Take advantage of this low RSI, high short ratio scenario. And same story with Carvana here, a little bit higher price stock here. We got triple whammy here with the nice rule of 40 with the quarter over quarter sales growth, gross margin greater than 40. We also have high short ratio, low RSI, as well as institutions buying slowly. I would take a look at Carvana also, a little bit high dollar stock. You could play some option game here, probably option spread if your account size is lower. So with that, look at these stocks here. Look at where we have rule of 40, fundamentally strong companies, as you can see here. Quarter over quarter sales growth, gross margin handily beats 40. Those are your stronger candidates you can play along. You don't need to worry about a short squeeze or not, because these are fundamentally sound companies you can buy and hold for a while. I like Shift 4 here. It's been down for a long time. I think it's a good one to buy. They're into fintech area. I think stock will do well. So with that, as you scan through, very high short ratio here, and short, the float itself is small in many cases. See here, Archon float is very low, $5 million. So this can take off as you go forward. Good to slowly buy. It's a Chinese based company here, can be easily manipulated with a low market cap, but it's good to look into. And then you can look at stocks where they're making some progress shorter term. Those are your turnaround candidates. For example, Geo. I think it's slowly turning around, as you can see here. Still low RSI. You could play along and buy some Geo. Take advantage of this here. And we got one more here, turnaround candidate, Archon. As you see here, 1 week there is a progress. You could buy into this company also and take advantage. So with that, I would ask you to look at these companies here in a little more detail and buy slowly. If you're a fundamentally inclined investor or a trader, look for rule of 40, where I've highlighted these two cells here, and also highlighted first column with the green highlight here. So with that, let's look at a few more. We got a few more companies, and short ratio is high but not as high as previous list here. Look at skills here. As you can see here, you got a high short ratio, low RSI, indicated by blue highlight here. Short ratio is 21, RSI is 49, and also it's got it's got institutions buying here 13%. That's why it's highlighted in a green highlight here. That makes skills a good candidate here. Only little bit issue is it's got a little bit higher float here. That's why it's taking a while. But if you want to slowly bite into it, it's okay. Understand float is high. It might take a little more time for this to come up. And then you got a few more. I love VMware. I think VMware is showing some slow progress here. Right now it's a little higher. RSI is 58. I would wait for a little pullback here and then buy. As you scan through here, you can look at USWS. As you scan through, high short ratio, low RSI, and we also have institutions buying very low dollar stock. You could look into this one and buy slowly. And as you scan through here, high float, high short ratio, low float. That makes it an ideal candidate. Stock has been going up off late here. As you can scan through, you might want to wait a little bit for this to cool off and then buy USWS. And we got a few more here. Tiger, that we talked about last time. It's a great stock to buy here. As you can see here, it's a triple whammy. You got a rule of 40. We have high short ratio, low RSI, as well as we got institutions buying. That makes it an ideal candidate. You could look into this one and take advantage of this situation here. And we got Shift SFT here. As you can see, look through, high short ratio, low RSI, institutions are buying here. You could buy some SFT into this weakness here, take advantage of the situation. And then you got two more here which are great, triple whammy, Siri and Sunworks. You could bite into these slowly, take advantage of the situation here. Sunworks, as you can see here, low float here, whereas Siri has got a little bit higher float. That's why it may not go up fast here, but I would prefer Sunworks here with the low float here. And then we've got a few more here. We got Ollie's, again a good play. Stock has been dropping off late. RSI is right now it's 26. You could buy into some ollies here, take advantage of this high RSI situation, low RSI and high short ratio. And you could also look at stocks like Nostrum, Sunrun, Humanagen, all great candidates. Watch out what institutions are doing, what insiders are doing. For example, life here, see here, high insiders buying, high institution buying. That makes it a great candidate, coupled with the high short ratio and a low RSI. Actually, life is life is a little high RSI. Um, it's 61. I would wait for this to cool off a little bit and then jump into life. A little high for me. I think let's wait for it to cool off a little bit. But these type of candidates were um, high insider institution buying. Typically, they make a great candidate. Only issue is I think it's a little bit high from a RSI perspective. We would like for it to cool off a little bit. Fundamentally inclined investors look for quarter over quarter sales growth, gross margin greater than 40. So with that, look at the low floats here. Those are the nice candidates you could look at, coupled with the low RSI. Those make ideal candidates for a short squeeze. So with that, we got one more chart here. You could look at these companies also and see if it's worth buying. As an example, we got here LTHM, all triple whammy as you can see here, and stock has been falling off of late, low RSI. You could look at this one also. And QuantumScape, for you option traders, you could take advantage of QuantumScape. I think right now RSI is high, IV percentile is low. I would wait on this. And if you look at other companies like Fubo is a good one. You can take advantage of this situation here with the high short ratio, low RSI, and also there is no institution Fubo. There is some institution buying. You could take advantage of this situation, Fubo, and buy some Fubo at these levels. And we've got Chewy. I think it's a triple whammy here. You could look at Chewy also, buy into Chewy slowly. And we got few more. You could look at these companies, ideal candidates with the high RSI, low RSI, high short ratio. You could look at these also. Pay attention to float here. When the float is high like Microvision, it might take a while for stock to come up, but low float here like GR Groupon, Fastly, those are the ideal candidates for a short squeeze, especially with the low RSI. Like Fastly makes ideal candidate here. And we got few more here like Jumia. I love Jumia. I think it also is a good one here. And we have few more. IIVI, one of my favorite play here. Triple whammy, as you can see here. You could look at IIVI. Take advantage of this short squeeze situation here. So with that, what we'll do is we'll look at one or two more stocks here and see what we can make out. So for that, we'll go into Thinkorswim platform here from 3D Ameritrade. Look at one or two stocks. So first we look at IPW, the first stock that we covered. So IPW, as you look through here, high short ratio. And if you see here from a chart perspective, it's making some progress of late. We have earnings out, and RSI, as you can see here, is 48. You could slowly buy into this stock, take advantage of this upturn, and go from there. And from a DMI perspective, you can see your stock is bullish right now. If the stock, if there's a small pullback, I would recommend you buying this, take advantage. Stock is bullish right now, and check-in money flow is indicating money is flowing out. Let's see here, yeah, flowing out slowly. So I think volume average also indicates a little bit drop here, but I think it's a good candidate to take advantage of high short scenario, especially if the stock is pulled back. If the stock has pulled back, or if stock is pulled back today, you could buy some IPW. Next, let's look at one more candidate. We talked about TIGR. You could look at TIGR also at this level. Stock has been stalling off late, as you can see here. And as we scan through, we got um, RSI very low, 38, and you could take advantage of low RSI here. Stock is bearish, and on the balance volume is steady. Check-in money flow is also steady, so you could take advantage of this and buy some TIGR. So if I go back to this chart here just to quickly check, as we scan through here, we also talked about few stocks. Blink is one of my favorite. So if you go back to Blink here, BLNK, so as you can see, a stock is stalling here, high short ratio like we talked about. Um, on the balance volume indicates that it's a steady buying here. It's pretty high here, and check-in money flow is also telling you money is flowing into the stock. So with that, I would buy into BLNK, take advantage of this situation here, and wait for a short squeeze. Last one we will cover is RIOT, right blockchain. You could also look at other blockchain companies like BTCM, similar situation. So as you can see, a stock is dropping with all the Chinese crackdown and the regulation around the crypto. Stock is falling here. Chart is ugly, but if you see here on the balance volume is pretty steady. That tells you there is still buying interest in this company. And as you scan through your check-in money flow, indicating money is flowing out, I think, which is okay. We will go with the on the balance volume here and buy into this right blockchain slowly. So as you look through here, we got few more companies. You could do the same thing with them. I love stocks like Lemonade here. You could also do BTCM, and look at those companies. So with that, here are some rules here. We went through this briefly earlier. So look at the nice entry point here. Look for lower RSI. When you want to exit, look for RSI greater than 60. Exit in stages. Take advantage of a stock going up. Don't sell out too fast. You'll be limiting your profit if you do that. And then look for fundamentally good companies with the rule of 40, and look for catalysts like high short ratio and insiders institutions buying the stock. That will make an ideal candidate. And option buyers and sellers, watch out for RSI as well as IV percentile. When IV percentile is high, don't buy the call option and put option. When the IV percentile is low, you could buy. Watch out RSI. When you are a put option buyer, you want RSI to be lower, you want stock to bounce higher, and you want IV percentile to be higher to get some good premium. So look at these rules here as you trade options. So with that, thank you very much. Happy investing and trading. Please subscribe.